Hey guys, YouTuber Hunter here. Alright, and as I promised before, now here I am to give my thoughts on the new Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle movie. So, I actually went to see the movie today, and yeah, this film was like really good. I mean, yeah, I think that this movie, like, based on the receptions that the trailers received, I think that this movie really did, like, surpass a lot of people's expectations. I mean, yeah, the trailers really were, like, getting quite the bit of hate, because, I mean, it really just looked very different from the original Jumanji. But, yeah, the people really have loved this. I mean, the audience score for this film on Rotten Tomatoes is at 90%, so yeah, people really do seem to really love this movie. I mean, yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, this really was like a really good movie. I really did enjoy this. Now, is it better than the first Jumanji movie? Well, I think that's kind of like hard for me to say because, like I said before, I mean, I really did grow up watching the first Jumanji movie a lot. So yeah, I really do love the first Jumanji movie, and so yeah, I just like really like hold that film very close to me, so it's really hard for me to really actually say whether or not I can call this one better than the first film. But yeah, it is definitely like a really good movie. So yeah, this film like like I was this film was of course like announced as like an homage sequel to the first Jumanji, and yeah, this was also like said to be like a tribute to Robin Williams. But when I was watching this movie, I really didn't feel that I didn't really see much really like paying tribute to Robin Williams in this film. Now, like I've said before, like in the other films that have been released that I've given my thoughts on before, yeah, this is going to contain spoilers. So yeah, if you haven't seen the film yet, yeah, I suggest that you wait till you actually do see the film to actually watch this. But if you don't care about spoilers, then yeah, you can just continue to watch this film. So yeah, just saying that real quick, there are going to be spoilers in this. But yeah, in this film, I really didn't see like a whole lot of paying tribute to Robin Williams. I mean, yeah, I did actually like see a few things in here. Like this film did contain like a few things that really did actually pay homage to the first film, which I will talk about in this video. But yeah, overall, I really didn't see this film really acting as a tribute to Robin Williams. But yeah, it did like pay some homages to the first film. But yeah, really did enjoy this film. Yeah, this film definitely like did take a different turn than like the first Jumanji did. The first Jumanji, that was more like of a fantasy adventure film. With this film, this is taking the turn more for like an action comedy. And yeah, this film definitely did have a lot of comedy to it. I mean, when I went like when I saw this movie today, like in the theater, like there were just like a bunch of times when like there were like people laughing at it. So yeah, this film definitely did have a lot of comedy to it. And yeah, I did think that this was a different take and a different turn for the Jumanji movie, but yeah, it was definitely like done really well. I mean, yeah, just about as all you know, like all you've seen the trailers, like in this film, Jumanji really like becomes a video game rather than a board game, and yeah, I really did like how it really did like take that turn because yeah, it just really was like really done like in an interesting kind of way how it became a video game, which I'll talk about out in a few minutes. But yeah, really thought that this really did have a really different take for a really good take for it taking place in a video game rather than a board game. It really did like really seem like a video game and stuff, and it definitely like had a bunch of elements to it, making it seem like a video game. And yeah, it really was told real well. Yeah, you had some like really awesome stuff in here. I mean, of course, you had a really good cast in this film with, of course, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen. I still don't know how her last name is pronounced. Is it Gillen? Is it Gillen? Yeah, something like that. Also have Nick Jonas, Bobby Cannavale, and yeah, I really did enjoy them. And yeah, they really do have like some really good stuff in here. And I just think, yeah, overall, it really was like a pretty well acted film. I mean, yeah, just like the four main cast members of this movie, they all like did extremely well together. Really did like have some really good stuff in this film. And yeah, the effects in this film are pretty good. I mean, yeah, of course, like since like this is like over 20 years since the first Jumanji film was made. Like, they really have updated technology, so yeah, the effects are, like, definitely, like, a lot better, even though, like, the effects in the first film still, I think, do, like, really hold up. I mean, the effects for the first film really are really good with the animals and stuff, but yeah, yeah, and yeah, this film like just really did like have like a lot of really good action scenes in it, and yeah, just like a lot of really good things in this film. Just I really did overall, I really did enjoy this film. Alright, so yeah, it just really was like a very, very enjoyable film to watch, and yeah, I really did like this film a lot. Alright, so yeah, let me just go through the premise of this film real quick. Like I said before, there will be spoilers here, so yeah, just beware of the spoilers. Alright? So, when this movie opens up, it opens up like, kind of like, I think, like, really, like, soon after where the first film had ended. When yeah, like if you watch the first film, you saw like it ended with like the game just being buried partially in the sand on like a beach, I think in France, and there were like those two girls that could hear it. But of course, like that's not how this film opened up. This film opened up where like it was like still taking place on a beach, and then like the board game Jumanji was then ended up being found by a father, and then he showed it to his son Alex, and Alex was like looking at the game board, and of course like it still had like the original board from the first movie inside of the game and stuff. But yeah, Alex then just like set it aside. He just didn't feel that any board games really weren't played anymore. Or and then he just like set it aside, and then like he then of course like heard the drumming from the game that was like from the first movie as well, and then like once he opened up the game again and rather than the board, it was just like shown like a Nintendo like games console style cartridge, and then it just showed like Alex was then starting to play it, and then like it was just like shown from outside of the house, like showed that there was a big light coming from his bedroom window and stuff. And yeah, of course, like we didn't know what happened yet, but it was eventually like revealed what had happened. Yeah, and then it can cut to 20 years later, where then like there are these four students in a Bradford High School. Well, yeah, yeah, it still is like in the same town that the first movie was in. Yeah, there are these four kids: Spencer, Fridge, Bethany, and Martha. They end up like getting detention together because of like things they did because uh, Bethany like was like talking on her cell phone during a quiz in her class. Martha was like kind of like disrespecting her PE coach, and Spencer and Fridge ended up like getting in trouble because Spencer was like really just writing some essays for Fridge, and so then yeah, the four of them ended up getting detention together, and then their punishment was to clean out the school basement, and then Fridge ends up like finding like an old game console which included like the Jumanji video game in it, and then yeah, it was like shown that it was like a 5 player video game, and like Spencer and Fridge were then starting to play it, and it showed them there was like the character selection, and one character had already like been like chosen and from the game, and really like they couldn't select, and so then like Spencer and Fridge then started like were selecting characters, and then like then Bethany and Martha then joined them, and then they all like selected their characters. Here's a Fridge, of course, like selected the character of Moose Finbar as he read it, and then Spencer chose Dr. Smolder Bravestone. Bethany chose Professor Shelley Oberon, and then Martha then of course like selected Ruby Roundhouse. And then once they like then selected for the game to start, then like they all like, well yeah, the game like the console and stuff was like starting to really like cause like electric shortages and stuff, and then yeah, they then like tried to just stop it by unplugging the console, but then yeah, the console then just ended up like sucking all of them like into it, similar to like how in the first film Alan ended up like being sucked into the board game. Yeah, before them ended up like being sucked up right into the the console, and then yeah, all four of them like were then like now in the forms of all the character avatars that they ended up choosing and using, of course. And yeah, it was of course like The Rock, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, and Kevin Hart, of course, now in the roles as these avatars and stuff. And then and yeah, it was also like shown that they had these like tattoos of like three lines on their wrists and stuff, and it was like shown that those three lines were actually like their three lives, since this was a video game. They each like had three lives for their characters in the game, and it was eventually revealed that if they ended up like losing all three of their lives in this game, they will like actually like die for real. Yeah. Yeah, and it was also shown that like they all like also have special skills and weaknesses, and it was funny like it was revealed that like Moose Finbar, his name's actually Mouse Finbar, and one of his like weaknesses was actually just cake. Yeah, yeah, and then like throughout this game, like they just end up like getting into a bunch of hijinks and stuff, and then like one of the like non-playable character in this game, like Nigel, ends up like coming across like the four of them, and of course like they're seen as like the actual characters in this video game, and then like Nigel was then explaining to them how like how there's like a big like hunter, Van Pelt. Yes, Van Pelt is back. Yeah, he's a returning character from the first movie. But though, like, he's Van Pelt in this movie, he's like different than how he was in the first movie. How in the first movie he was like really just like a hunter that was really like in the game, and he was like trying to kill Alan. In this film, Van Pelt is different. In this film, rather than just like being a hunter or something, he's like this like evil explorer that really wants powers of this like of the Jaguar's eye, as it is called, and yeah, he's like after this like really huge jewel to that will let him like take control of it and stuff, and then like he'll actually be able to like control like all the animals and stuff. So yeah, Van Pelt, he's like a real different character, really different in this film than in the first film. And also like it's shown in this movie that Van Pelt, he's like has like a bunch of like insects and creatures like coming in and out of his head and stuff. Like they come out of his ears and mouth and stuff. There's like scorpions and roaches and yeah, a bunch of other like bugs coming from Van Pelt's head and stuff. So yeah, he's definitely like a really different kind of character than he was in the first film. But anyway, yeah. And yeah, it shows like of course like the four of them, like Spencer, Fridge, Martha, and Bethany. They all then just end up like they have to actually obtain the jewel themselves, and they have to really just return the jewel to a huge jaguar statue to finish the game, and they have to do the same as in the first film. To finish the game, they have to actually shout out Jumanji's name when they complete it and stuff. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's just, then just shown like they end up like all like losing some lives through who like uh various types of situations. Like at one point, there's like this hippo that ends up like grabbing Bethany and stuff, and she like ends up like losing a life there. And at one point, Fridge or yeah, Mouse Finbar ends up like pushing down Spencer off of a cliff and stuff, and he ends up losing a life. And I think yeah, they have like certain weaknesses and stuff, and yeah, they all of course like have special powers too. Like of course like Ruby Roundhouse, she's like a really skilled fighter and stuff, and so she can really like fight good and stuff. And uh, uh, Professor Shelley, or like Sheldon is, for as his full name, Oberon, he has this power of like he has like a cartography and stuff, and like the four of them like have this map that will actually show them Jumanji, and apparently like Professor Oberon is really the only one that can actually read the map, and the rest of them really don't see anything on the map at all. So he has the power to really like take a look at the map and stuff, and yeah, and really like Mouse Finbar, like his duty really is just like acting as uh, Dr. Bravestone's a sidekick and stuff, and he carries around all of his weapons, which includes a boomerang. Yeah, and yeah, they like end up like going through like a bunch of like obstacles and stuff in this game. Yeah, and what's up? Yeah, and at one point like they start to like look for clues on how to like finish the game and stuff. And at one point, like they end up like obtaining a clue from like a snake they had to like take care of and stuff, and they end up like having to fang it, and they discovered a clue at one point like telling like something like to follow elephants or something, and it actually like came with like one of the things that really paid homage to the first film, where they have like this like small like kind of like statue thing that was really like sort of a bigger version of the elephant token piece from the first movie from the board game that was Alan's piece that he used in the first film. So yeah, I thought that was actually kind of interesting. Yeah. And then they eventually end up like being chased down by Van Pelt's men, and then they end up like being rescued by like the fifth playable character in the video game, which is like the pilot, a seaplane McDonough. Oh, or Donna or something, yeah. And it was eventually revealed that that actually was Alex, who was the one that found the game first, and he ended up like being sucked into it back when he found the game. Yeah, yeah. And like Alex ended up like taking them back to like his home, and it was shown that the home that he was staying at was actually the home that Alan had made when he got sucked into the jungle in the first film. So yeah, I really did like how they really did like do that. Another homage to the first film, and that's really like I guess one of the things that really did pay tribute to Robin Williams in this film. How it was really like the home that Alan was staying at when he was in the jungle in the first movie. So I did like that. Yeah, 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 and like it was Alex was then just like say telling them that he's really been stuck in the game because he can never get past a certain level, and he's really down to one life, and so he's just been stuck in the game because he's worried about losing his last life and dying for real, stuff. And then eventually like through the encouragement of the four of them, they then like convinced Alex to then like pilot a helicopter and fly to the Jaguar statue to return the jewel and finish the game. And I should also bring up like throughout this film, like which show that there is like a romantic connection between Spencer and Martha, and like Spencer apparently like he did really like what Martha how Martha really did stand up to the PE coach before, and yeah, he just really did like really like say that he liked Martha, and yeah, Martha also like said that she did like Spencer also, and yeah, then like there was like a romantic connection between the two of them throughout this film. So yeah, I guess just thought I should mention that real quick. Like they do like end up like getting together, and so yeah, they end up like falling in love with each other. So yeah, and then like once like Alex also were like found out that Professor Oberon in this game was actually like really a girl, of course, like Bethany, like Bethany like ended up of course like liking Alex, and then like they ended up like forming a romantic connection stuff. And yeah, I really did like at one point like I wish it revealed that like one of Alex's character's weaknesses was actually mosquitoes, and at one point like he actually did get bitten by a mosquito. But yeah, I should also point out that why are what happened to the mosquitoes in this? I mean, remember in the first film how big they were? In this film, like we don't even like actually see when the mosquito does attack Alex. We just hear the mosquito buzzing, and yeah, then like Alex like got attacked by the mosquito, which was one of his weaknesses. And as he was starting to die and lose his last life, like Bethany ended up like sacrificing one of her lives to save Alex and revive him. So yeah, I really did like that. Bethany really did end up sacrificing herself for her love for Alex, so I did like that. Yeah. And then yeah, they eventually end up like arriving at the statue, but they like ended up like being face to face with Van Pelt and his forces, along with like the Jaguar guards he's controlling. And yeah, the four of them ended up like working together to just battle the villains, and then yeah, eventually like Spencer, with the help of Martha, was able to return the jewel back to the statue, and then yeah, all of them like just shouted out Jumanji, and then yeah, the game then ended up coming to an end. And yeah, Van Pelt ended up like disintegrated, and Nigel then arrived and then just bid farewell to them, and he shook all their hands one at a time, and then all four of them just ended up like being sucked back out of the game into the world. Yeah. And then yeah, Spencer, Fridge, Bethany, and Martha all found themselves back in the basement. But yeah, they were wondering about Alex, and then as they came home, they showed that like, of course, like I should probably mention before, like at the beginning of this film, after like Alex got sucked in the game, like it just showed that his house really was basically abandoned. And once he disappeared, I guess that's another thing that really did pay tribute. It was basically like the same, handled like similar to the way it was with Alan's appearance in the first film. So I guess that's another homage to the first film. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. And then with Alex now back in the world, it was just like rewritten, like rewritten, and yeah, Alex's life now had been restored, or with his house and stuff. And then yeah, it showed that Alex was now an adult, old, with the history changed. And yeah, he did remember like all four of them. He remembered Bethany, Spencer, Fridge, and Martha, and he like told Bethany that he named his daughter after her in gratitude for her saving his life. Yeah. And then yeah, it then like just showed all four of them like now becoming friends with each other, and of course like Spencer and Martha now were like together and in love. And yeah, it just ended with like them like hearing the drum beats of Jumanji again. But yeah, it just then just like ended with the four of them just like destroying the game console with the like a bowling ball they found in the basement while they were in detention. And then that's how the movie ended. So yeah, so overall I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Though like one thing I guess I should mention real quick, one thing I was like kind of upset with is like before the film was released, like Wikipedia had listed that Robin Williams would like be in this film, like including like archive footage from the first film. But yeah, none of that was, there was no archive footage of Robin Williams from the first film in this film. So I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see like any archive footage of that. And yeah, there really was not a whole lot of connection of this film to the first film, much except for like in the beginning with the board game and stuff, and with like it showing in the game Alex was staying at the home Alan had made himself while he was stuck in the jungle. But yeah, that's really like all really the only connections that this movie really does have with the original. So yeah, it really is like a loose sequel. But regardless, I still really did enjoy this film. I mean, I thought it was a really good film. I definitely did get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Not really sure if I can actually go as far to say it is better than the first film, but still a really enjoyable film nonetheless. So yeah, I definitely would recommend this film if you haven't seen it yet. But if you haven't actually watched the first film yet, I would suggest that you watch the first film before watching this. But yeah, once you have seen the first, if you have seen the first film, and once you have, if you haven't before, yeah, then yeah, I recommend this film. Like, you'll definitely get some enjoyment out of this film, and you will like really like it. I mean, it is like, it has good comedy, has good action, some good acting. Yeah, it really just, yeah, it is just a very good, enjoyable film. All right, so yeah, I definitely do recommend this film. So yeah, definitely check it out. Alright, so yeah, those are my thoughts on Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. So, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy what I had to say about it. Let me know what you think about the film if you've seen it yet. And yeah, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the film in the comments. Yeah, just tell me what you thought about the film. Alright, so anyway, so yeah, that does it for this video. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.